probably know, with electronics companies, it's often feast or famine. We enjoyed a great feast there, but famine eventually hit around 1985. So the opportunity pool there had dried up. So I judged that a good time to resign and start student teaching. So my goal then was to work in the city school district. And then in September 1986, I began my career as a 7th grade English teacher at Franklin. And I really dedicated myself to the job because it was kind of a career change. And I had a very successful 2 years. I even moved to the Franklin neighborhood. But I guess things were going a little bit too well because suddenly a bomb was dropped. Most of the non-tenured teachers were laid off. Like in private industry, when layoffs are coming, people usually hear it through the grapevine, so it's not a shock, when you're a victim. But when my department chair called me in to tell me about it, I was completely devastated. I think I kind of went numb and probably turned white because she just looked at me and she said, "Joe, you better sit down." So that layoff, it came as a complete surprise, and it took several days to get over that emotionally. It was a tough hit. But then looking back, I'm very grateful for the perspective working in an urban environment gave me. There's a lot of cynicism about city schools, but of course I got to see things firsthand. And of course there were problems, but there were lots of good things that happened on a daily basis too. Then it was on to Keshequa Central School District, which had its own unique rural culture. There I taught grades 7, 8, and 12. A young man named Dale, one of my senior boys, owned one of those ridiculous-looking monster trucks. It had tires as tall as I was, and you needed a ladder to get into it. They kind of looked like big toys. Dale would back his truck into a parking space just outside my classroom so he could keep an eye on it. And the truck had 2 huge diameter exhaust pipes. And when he would start it, even with my windows closed, the exhaust smoke would seep in, filling my room with noxious fumes. It was part of the experience. So one time I was working with another student after school when Dale started his truck, and I said, "I've got to tell Dale not to park there anymore." The student said, "That's not Dale, Mr. Pantaleo, that's one of the parents. There are about 5 trucks like that in this town. Welcome to None Day." But don't think it was a backward district, though, because it wasn't. Despite the monster trucks, I'm proud of some of the things we accomplished there. I, along with one of the other teachers, created an interdisciplinary English social studies curriculum for 8th grade that we utilized for several years. And the debate summative assessment became an annual event that some people from the community look forward to attending. So then I left there to accept the job offer at Hilton, which is another opportunity I'm very, very grateful for. One thing I noticed pretty quickly was that the Hilton district serves pretty good caliber students and parents. Even though kids don't always work as hard as you would like, most of them do care about their academic and social reputations. And of course, the kids are a reflection of their parents, and I've observed mostly good parental support for the teachers and the district as a whole. Now, last September, I participated in my 30th and final open house. So, we as teachers probably face every open house a bit tired because we worked all day. But at Hilton, I can honestly say that if I started the open house tired, I ended it feeling energized. Why? Well, during my presentation to parents, their smiles, their appreciative words, and nods of affirmation told me that they supported the academic program I outlined for them. And you don't get that kind of feedback during the teaching day. Words of encouragement and nods of affirmation can be few and far between. It's really hard to read kids. You can't tell by their facial expressions. Like a young lady came in just the other day knowing I was retiring. She was in my class 2 years ago, and pretty much for the whole year she was in my class, she just scowled at me and never said a word. But she came in and she said, I learned a lot that year. You were one of my favorite teachers. And I said, I was? So you really can't tell that. That keeps you going. Another thing I'm grateful to Hilton for is the opportunity to have working relationships with so many very nice staff members. I have always been envious of the actor Morgan Freeman. because there's no better actor when it comes to projecting warmth and compassion in his various movie roles. In my life, I haven't always been good at expressing those kinds of feelings in relationships with people. So I want everyone I've worked with and everyone here tonight to please know that the warm feelings have always been there, and they're there right now. Thank you.